We move southeast of Sochi to the Marina Bay circuit. Welcome along to Singapore for round 16 of 24 of the Breakout Racing League Realistic Performance Championship and the Singapore Grand Prix. We are in Singapore then, the country made up of 64 islands and a city that is one of the most environmentally friendly in the world. Well, the same one that 14 years ago hosted the first ever Formula One night Grand Prix. There has been incredible racing ever since. Let's hope that continues tonight. Let's talk about the circuit then. Marina Bay has one of the three, mainly predominantly pedestrian road-only street circuits, with the other two being Monaco and Baku. There are 23 corners, 14 to the left and 9 to the right, which makes up the 5-kilometer or the 3.1-mile distance. The average lap speed is quite low compared to the last 3 rounds of Monza. Well, it's only 179 kilometers per hour or 111 miles per hour. This is assisted by the 3 DRS zones into turn 1, 7, and 14, which weighed the overtaking at this difficult circuit. Well, just like with any other street circuit, grip is a necessity. Pirelli have brought the C5, C4, and the C3 tires, with the C5 being the red-wheeled soft, the C4 being the yellow-wheeled medium tire, and the C3 being the white-wheeled hards, and obviously, of course, the intermediates and full wets as well, if the drivers do deem so necessary. Let's look at the championship then. Minico takes the lead by 25 points over the McLaren of unsighted port after the actions from a week ago at Russia. Bailey, now the Haas drivers in third in the championship, with Deer Hunter in fourth, Taylor Clan in fifth, not too far behind, 19 points adrift. Cookie moves up to sixth, overtaking Mumu by 6 points. Can he stay ahead in that charge in the Mercedes and catch up to his teammate Deer Hunter in fourth? Ron Swanson in eighth. He's 52 points behind Mumu. Can he catch up tonight? We'll see. Have to find out. He's now in the AlphaTauri, by the way. Supply Raptor is in P9. He's 10 points behind Ron. Crispy now in the Alpine. Moves ahead of his teammate now. Ferrari up by 10 points. What an incredible move we've had so far. We got to talk about that in a little bit. McLaren lead the Constructors' Championship by 7 points over Red Bull, 341 to 334, with Mercedes in third, 62 points back from the lead. They are closing. AlphaTauri in fourth. They sit 194, there we go, points to their name, 147 points back from McLaren, but they sit 62 ahead of Alpine, and they sit a further 15 more ahead of Ferrari, who's in sixth. Aston Martin sits seventh, but they have a 20-point buffer to Alfa Romeo in eighth, Haas in ninth, and Williams rounds out the top 10, and that'll do it for the Constructors' Championship. And now Jaime Hayes-Transfer joined alongside by Bois. Now Singapore is either a loved or hated circuit by the drivers because of its test on endurance. 31 laps is going to be a long time around here. How do you think the length will really affect these drivers so far here in Marina Bay?
Well, we'll only find out in the final 15 minutes of this race to see if it will affect any drivers. You know, like you said, this is the longest race of the calendar. 31 laps with an average lap time around 1 minute 50 seconds, give or take. That's qualifying. And also to point out, what were those tire compounds you said earlier?
C5, C4, and C3.
With the various strategies, all three of these tires will be used tonight. It's just a question of which tire do you start on. Not hards, but medium or soft.
Well, Pirelli have said that the softs can go around 8 to 10 laps, the mediums going about 17 to 20 laps, and the hards can go the surplus of 30 to 35 laps, so the hards can go from lap 1 if necessary. But right now, we look at the qualifying one and see who can get the best lap going on right now. A lot of these drivers are on the soft compounded tire, one of these being Boscoki, the Mercedes.
Yeah, all of them are softs, and as you alluded, the softs can last perhaps 8 to 10 laps, but the drop-off is dramatic here. And that's going to be the decision of, okay, if you want to start on softs, you'll have the quicker tire, but then there will be a crossover with the mediums. Well, if you start on the mediums, well, if you could just keep the soft runners in bay in front of you or perhaps behind you, it could pay off later on.
Speaking of decisions, we have a team principal up in the booth once again. That's going to be Ethap, and the Haas team principal will go to you shortly as Crispy goes provisional pole. We see Cookie goes up to the line and gets it by about a second and a half. Ethan, now, you have signed Bailey away from AlphaTauri, and now with him that high in the championship, it's quite an elite signing, if I do say so myself. How do you think you two will play out? Obviously, your driver pairing of Bailey and Feta, both in the Haas, and Feta performed really well a week ago. What do you think your ambitions are on the Haas team so far? Can you catch Alfa Romeo?
I don't hear his audio.
I don't either.
He's having the party.
All right, we'll go back to him. Oh, he's not? Well, that'll exactly be why. Ardell goes to fourth, by the way. It's Mercedes 1-2. Cookie ahead of Deer Hunter by about a tenth or so. Bailey goes to fifth. He's about 2/10 off of Ardell in the Alfa Romeo, but he may go for another flyer. Fettercheese, the other Haas. Speaking of those two, we'll see how they go so far. Fetter's on a flying lap, yellow flying through the first sector, drivers letting others through, but that's going to be something we do talk about. Now you're here. I don't know where I thought you were here the first time, so make sure your audio is included. I actually don't know if it will work.
It's included.
It is included. Okay, so now let's ask you again. Now you're up in the booth, and you had an elite signing with Bailey. He's top 3 in the championship. Well, now you obviously managing both these drivers, Bailey and now Feta, who goes up to 6, by the way, ahead of Bailey by about 2/10. Feta scored some pretty extreme points a week ago in Russia, and arguably the team's home Grand Prix. How do you think you two, or I guess this team, will go with these two drivers that are looking pretty quick?
I mean, I really hope that we're able to score more points. But overall, I think I have a really solid lineup for the season, for the rest of the season. I hope nothing bad happens to both of my drivers in the future. But overall, I think we're going to be a solid team out there, and we are hoping that we're able to beat Alpha and Williams for the season.
Well, so far, you are pretty close.
Yeah,
you are not that far away, only 5 points to be exact, and that could be determined this race very well. You get yourself up to 8th in the Constructors' Championship. How do you think you're going to go around here at Singapore? Do you think it's going to, I guess, favor your Haas, or is it going to be something that's going to be something to work around?
I mean, the Haas overall is a terrible car, so I won't be really expecting that much out of both of these drivers, but I still expect something. So I hope we're able to get at least 2 points. But the car does struggle around this track. It has terrible traction, terrible top speed, terrible turn-ins. It's just a terrible car overall. But I know these drivers are really solid with the car. They're trying their best out there. So really hope.
Yes, and while that has happened, by the way, sorry to cut you off real quick, DXT has crashed out of qualifying at turn 14. His Alfa Romeo in the barriers. But, well, we'll see how the Haas team and you go through the Singapore Grand Prix. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
So now with the Alfa Romeo of DXT, he should go out of qualifying. He's not going to be probably starting at most from 15th position. That's barring for the drivers also having a little bit of an issue as well. But so far through the first 8 or so minutes of qualifying, it's a Mercedes 1-2 with Crispy in the Alpine, which now will lead us to talk about the many moves we had over the weekend from Russia to now. Bailey goes to 6, actually improves by about 3/10 or so. But like I said, Crispy in the Alpine, that's a big move. Bailey to Haas, that's a huge move. But Alpha Nesis shows why that's a great move for Alpha Tauri up to P3, about 1.6 off a provisional pole so far. And it's been a great signing indeed. Actually, I'm sorry, it's 5/10 off a provisional pole. I don't know where I got that number from. But we have also Chili in the Aston Martin. That's a good signing for them. And Valkyrie reserving for the Williams team. But Mumu has gone back to basically the same team that he started the season with. Only the sister car this time. Instead of the Red Bull, it's the Alpha Tauri.
Fetta's
flag, and Fetta's out of qualifying.
That's 2 retirements. One for Haas, one for Romeo. I don't know what happened with Feta.
Yes.
Where it looked like his car indicator is, maybe he clipped the curb on exit and lost it. Be interesting to see what happened there. It's been a very active weekend with the driver changes. I think you got the likes of.
It really has.
You got the likes of AlphaTauri. Yeah, they're trying to push to get P4 in the championship. And as Ethan alluded, they're trying to be ahead of Williams and Alfa Romeo in the championship. So yeah, just various of how these teams want to play it out to the end of the season.
We'll see. Tweaking goes about P3, almost 2/10 off of provisional pole. His teammate, by the way, invalidated through into turn 3, where he is now going through right now. So a little bit of a struggle from one side of the garage, but Mumu goes up to P5, puts him and his teammate, Alphanesis, on the 3rd and the 2nd row of the grid, and 4th and 5th, respectively. That's a good pairing so far, and it looks like it is showing very well. Ron Swanson and Ed Theronha, both Ferrari drivers in 8th and 9th, and that's Supply Raptor going to 12th. Setting a banker lap so far in the Williams.
Yeah, we have a Mercedes 1-2. That's only Q1, but it'd be interesting if they can keep up their pace. They had a really solid weekend last week at Russia. Should have had both cars with a solid weekend at Monza. I believe it was Boss Cookie that crashed out, unfortunately, but they're starting to get the ball rolling. And there's still some time in this championship for them to make inroads and be a threat for their overall number one.
Yep, they still definitely can. Speaking of threat for number one, Unsighted Port goes purple in the second sector. He's now going to be trying to claw back that gap he lost from a week ago at Russia. Remember, Minico and Unsighted Port were tied on points going into Russia, and obviously with Minico winning and Port not showing up, he lost that 25 points. Now he's going to be on a little bit of a back foot for the McLaren car and the team that arguably he's going to have a little bit of a rough stretch of periods here. Singapore is going to be a very difficult time because the downforce on the McLaren is not matched to the Red Bull, obviously, but a week from now, it's going to be at Suzuka, where it's the same argument, different story. Almost, he did run one. He got invalidated at the last possible moment. That is so unfortunate for Unsighted Port, as Minico in front of him is going to start another flying lap, see if he can get valid this time. But then it's going to be track limits. That's going to be a big talking point, but it's also going to be the strategy.
It's going to be a big talking point when it comes to qualifying. It's going to be a very big issue come for the race. But that corner right there, the final corner, is like the kiss of death. If you invalidate there, especially when at the end of these sessions, your session's virtually done, as Minico goes purple sector 1.
See if he can do anything to go and match Cookie or even improve. Yellow flag through sector 1 and 2. That is to turn 6. I believe it's Unsighted Port, letting a couple of drivers through. One being an AlphaTauri, the other one being a Mercedes, that being Cookie. He's on another flying lap. Can he improve his time? He's only 400ths ahead of his teammate Deer Hunter. He wants to get a little bit faster. Can we get into the 35s in this qualifying session? We definitely will by the end of qualifying 3. Who gets provisional pole? Who gets pole?
Well, right now, Mercedes is setting the pace, but we've only had one Red Bull set a time, and same as McLaren. If anything, Minico and Unsighted Port just need to get a time just to get something out of here. With 6 minutes left, they do have time to do probably one more attempt, but you don't want to be knocked out of Q1 in a championship battle like this.
Definitely. Improving, I believe that was going to be Luciano up to 6.
And Minico
pits. Interesting.
And he did invalidate.
New set of tires.
I mean,
yeah, bailed out of it.
He bailed out, but I mean, unless he made a mistake or somewhere, I would have just completed it. You had plenty of time there. Just get yourself a time on the board.
Well, let's see. Speaking of time on the board, we have Cookie. He's going out into turn 1. I am tweaking goes provisional pole by about a 10th over the two Mercedes of Cookie and Deer. Can Cookie go and try to fight that back? Wow.
Well, while that was going on, Luciano got P6. He hadn't set a time yet. That's a good time for the Aston Martin.
Yes, it is indeed. About a 10th or so off of Mumu.
Right now,
fighting hard.
Right now, we only have Chile, Minico, and Port not setting a time. Port right now on a lap.
So far through qualifying, what about 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to go? We have in the drop zone, Feta and DXT both crashed out of qualifying in the Singapore Grand Prix so far through qualifying 1, meaning they're going to take no further action in the rest of this qualifying session. Well, so far, Chile, Minico, and Unsighted Port have also yet to set a time, and they are actually below the two drivers, 15th and 16th respectively. So, driver at risk right now would be theoretically Valkyrie.
Yep. As now Minico leaves to do his second attempt. He might get, I'm trying to see how much time he got. Yeah, this probably is their last shot at it. As Unsighted working through sector 3. Sure wants to have a strong race after having to miss last weekend. Or last week.
That's going to be a big talking point, is how can this McLaren rebound from once again yet another setback in this championship fight between him and the Minico machine and the Red Bull team. Well, really, you think theoretically, if he hasn't missed all these races, he would be leading the championship. Well,
yeah,
he's not.
Theoretically, he would as P5, so he can just kind of relax and get back to the pits. That's a good lap for him in Q1. I mean, like I said, yeah, there is time. You know, Mercedes still has races that are still out there for them to achieve P1. But when it comes to McLaren and Red Bull, there is no margin of error. And one result here or there could drastically affect the outcome of this championship on both the drivers and the constructors.
Yes, it definitely can. Chili's on a flying lap in the Aston Martin, the new signee for the Aston Martin team. By the way, Valkyrie's now in the drop zone as Feta, once again, is technically the driver at risk, but only slight. He is technically about ahead of Supply Raptor up in 14th, but since he DNF'd, this is going to be right now. At the moment, Supply Raptor is the driver at risk in 15th, with Feta being 14th, so keep that in mind as we have flying laps finishing. But we have Chili going up to the line now. Can he improve into the top 10? Can he get out of the bottom 5? He definitely can, up to 12th in the Aston Martin. He is safe for now, but will he be safe for the rest of qualifying? This man is also in a very trouble shot right now. He's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so, with a little bit of change, about 20 seconds more like. Minico, if one thing goes wrong, he will start dead last in the Grand Prix. He just needs to get a lap in, like you said earlier, and he'll be safe in the qualifying too.
Unless he invalidates the final couple corners, if something happens on this lap, he should theoretically have enough time to have another go. We're approaching 1 minute 50 seconds, and I got the amount wrong from F2 to F1. Average lap time now, as you see, is 1:36. So
there's a little bit of games here, I think, being played from Cookie. This is technically blocking.
It is
on a flying lap, but he's not letting Minico through.
No, he's not, and I'm sure that's going to cause a discussion later on. It'd be one thing if Boss Cookie was on a lap, then he could validately say, hey, I'm doing my own thing. Him holding Minico up, that's kind of a no-no in qualifying, so that's going to be interesting later on.
Oh, and he backs him up too. This is going to be detrimental to Minico here. He's going to have enough time for another go, but that's if he can get through on Boss Cookie. Minico only goes P10, which may actually be safe.
I think it's safe.
But this could have been costly.
I think that I don't really...
Well, qualifying almost coming to a close. Raptor and Valkyrie are now both in the drop zone. Feta is now in the drop zone. But what has happened between these two?
Oh, just some games. Some head games. We'll see what comes of it after the race. I'm sure there will be a student inquiry about it. As it's really just Q1, the end of it's really going to be decided between Ardell, Supply, and Valkyrie as Bailey's retired. I think he's just going to decide that's the best I can do. Just leave it at that. These two.
Supply Raptor, he's going through into the third sector underneath the bridge here. On the final couple of corners, the checkered flag flies. Qualifying 1 is over. Who gets into the bottom, or out of the bottom 5 into qualifying 2? Right now, the bottom 2.
He's a goal.
Driver at risk, Ardell. Raptor aborts, and Valkyrie invalidates. Feta, Raptor, Valkyrie, and DXD are out of qualifying 1 in Singapore.
Well, it's unfortunate for Feta and DXD as they had their problems in this session. And we'll see. Next we'll see them is for the race.
Speaking of problems in qualifying, what will come of this?
I don't know if that was more of Mercedes just trying to get ahead of Minico or Red Bull, or I don't understand. I really don't. I'll give Minico credit for keeping a cool head because, yeah.
Well, the funny thing is Cookie actually didn't set a lap. So he went out on the out lap, impeded Minico through his flying lap, and bailed out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to involve a stewards meeting. Be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, you can play some games that are like, okay, that's kind of tricky, or that's kind of, I see what you're doing there. Then there's that, and you just say, okay, that's kind of maybe overstepping it.
Well, regardless, they're both in a qualifying 2. Tweaking tops the timing tables from both Mercedes, Cookie and Deere. Alphanesis in 4th. Port, Mumu, Luciano, Taylor, Crispy, Minico, the top 10. Ed Toronja, Ron Swanson, Chili, Bailey, and Ardell. They make it to qualifying 2, but we lost Feta, Raptor, Valkyrie, and DXT. They are eliminated from qualifying 1 and qualifying at the Singapore Grand Prix.
Yeah, good showing for AlphaTauri with both cars in the top 6. Alphanese, as you alluded to earlier, and Mumu. No, he was with Red Bull for the first opening part of the season, but now he's back in the same family, and this AlphaTauri does have speed. We've seen what Bailey's done in it, so for sure you could expect that from Alphanese and Mumu as well.
Qualifying 2. We're going to get the green light on that, but now it's going to be once again who makes it into the top 10. In a qualifying 3, is it going to be a soft? Is it going to be medium? So far, Deer Hunter, Ed Toronja, Minico, and Tweaking have both set on the mediums. Will they stay there?
That's going to be the interesting part. I mean, if you set a time on softs as your first go, you're probably making it known that you're not starting on mediums. If you start on mediums, you at least have the option to decide what you want to do. And, I think guys like Bailey probably going to have to go on softs. But it's going to be interesting to see what Mercedes, what McLaren, what Red Bull does. Then you get kind of down on the bottom here. What does Ferrari do? Do they gamble? Does AlphaTauri gamble? And it's going to require those drivers kind of on the, those back teams to absolutely nail that medium lap if they choose to do it.
Well, so far, Tweaking has decided to go out on medium. Same with Ed Toronja in the Ferrari. So we have 2 takers on the medium compounded tire, the C4. So far, everyone else is bolted on the C5, who is out on an out lap. But we still have Deer Hunter and Minico both in the pit lane, choosing the medium as well. Could we see some drivers get into qualifying 3 on the said medium tire? You said it's going to take a clean lap. Who gets in?
We saw a couple of drivers last season do it. I believe because we were working on the same team, Bailey was one. Can't remember. I know it's at least one.
I believe the top teams, Ritzy and Taylor Clan may have. Or at least one of the 2.
I mean, here's the interesting thing. You look at these top teams here. Do you do a split strategy? Do you do something where you cover both sides of the strategy?
Maybe they do. Ferrari have gone both to medium, by the way. The standings weren't necessarily updated there. So both Ed Toronja and Ron Swanson are both on the medium compounded tire. Same with Alphanesis in the AlphaTauri.
Bailey will be the first to set a time, followed by, I believe, Crispy.
He's already invalidated, so that's going to have to wait a little bit for his lap to count.
And we alluded to it earlier in Q1, invalidating here, you're effectively probably throwing away at the minimum a minute and a half, possibly 2 minutes. And as you can see, there's 12 minutes left, so there's not a lot of time.
Well, the time that is, I guess, available to the drivers, they have to make the most of right now. Bailey, once again, is going to be the first one through, going through the old Singapore sling into the bridge section now. It's going to be difficult for him to get into qualifying 3, but can he do it?
The old Singapore sling. That's fine. I remember that sling from 2012 and onwards. Oh my God. That was horrible.
This is some flying cars.
I remember playing on F1 2012, and it was just the most annoying thing. In fact, actually, when did they change the bridge? Because it used to be on the other side of the bridge after the Singapore. Was that Anderson Bridge?
I believe so.
It used to be where it's at now. I believe it was on the other side of it, up to I want to say 13 or 14 as well, as Bailey sets the first time.
The next one up to the line will be Ardell in the Alfa Romeo. So let's see if that charge Haas has on Alfa Romeo can start strong in qualifying 2. Behind Ardell, though, is going to be the Red Bull, I believe, if I am tweaking, as Minico has not left the pit lane. So Ardell goes P2, 39.4. What does tweaking go? He backs out of it into the pit lane. He goes. Crispy will set another flying lap. Mumu has validated. Port and the McLaren going through 13 and the 14 in a few seconds' time.
See, trying to see, you got, yeah, both. I've got Deer Hunter out. He's on softs.
Alphanesis, he's going through the middle sector, and the final sector, I should say. The last couple of corners through 20 into 21, now into 22 and 23. Can he go up? Where does he put his car? Provisional pole, 37.2 on the medium cup out of tire. What a lap with the Alpha Tower.
That's a really good lap. Watch Deer Hunter. He's going through sector 1. So he got a yellow flag, I believe. That's for the McLaren pitting there. Incited. Yes.
Ron Swanson goes P2, provisionally 38.4. His teammate Ed Tronhas going into 13. What can the Ferraris do this week? This could have definitely suiting their car.
Indeed it could.
Well, Ed goes purple in the second sector and almost locks up into the barriers at 14. Keeps out of the barriers though and continues on his flying lap. That was close.
Oh, Deer Hunter's getting held up by Mumu a little bit. We saw one side of the Red Bull family garage playing games. I don't know if this is a combination of that. Mumu gets out of the way. Oh, and
well, Deer Hunter's visibly frustrated with that performance as well. He slows right down after going purple in the middle sector. He was on a flyer.
He was.
Mercedes man.
He was, and where he caught Mumu, in Mumu's defense, there's not really much you can do there. I mean, oh
no, that is huge.
That is
Boss
huge.
Cookie's out of qualifying. That is at the old Singapore Sling down the main straightaway.
And wow, Mumu and Deer are still having the, let's just say, body language. You could just tell with the car's body language that not good. This has been interesting.
It has indeed. It's been so far a ton of drama this entire season, and we could be on for a dramatic, and when I say dramatic, I mean dramatic,
Well,
final couple of races.
we're going to be on a dramatic race tonight. We're going to see a Mercedes, kind of like at Monza. I believe that was Boss Cookie as well going through the field. So
See if he can make the most of his car, his pace advantage in the Mercedes, and trying to go back up onto the podium, or at least trying to go contend in the top 5 once again. Right now, though, we're going to be under 10 minutes in qualifying 2. Who gets into the top 10? Not many have actually set a time, only 5. 7 minutes and 30 seconds yet to go. There's still a decent amount of time to set that flying lap. Taylor Clan is one of those drivers who needs to set a flyer. He's in the McLaren going through into 21, and he aborts that lap as well. So what is going on?
well, a little bit of craziness as Minico, he's got mediums on. Purple sector 1, his teammates behind him on a lap as well. If you're a Red Bull...
Forecast says, by the way, rain in 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh.
It's not going to hit this section, but we could have a rain-affected qualifying 3. That could put in a huge throwing it out of the grid.
Well, the main one question I'd ask about that is, what about the race? Is it going to be wet or dry? Do we know that?
Not that I know of.
Because if it was going to be a wet start, then this whole medium-soft thing doesn't necessarily matter. But being the fact that we have guys on mediums, I would assume it's going to be at least a dry start. As our tail has retired. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because, I mean, I wouldn't... If there was rain forecasted in the race, I wouldn't believe you would actually be on the medium compounded tire anyway. But Minico, he goes around turn 23 up to provisional pole by a huge margin.
Well, I mean...
He goes up. To be fair. Look at his teammate, though. 1-2.
Fair, yes. But there's a flip side of that coin. Let's say it rains halfway in this race. The soft tire might not get you to that point, but the medium might. Because there's no way you're going to start this race hard.
If it was a wet start, there wouldn't be no reason. But if it's a dry start, I could see a reason for medium.
Yeah, 100%.
I should clarify that. Look at the two bulls swapping each other, tweaking, getting some slipstream from his teammate Minico down into turn 8, or turn 7, I should say.
Ferrari Nut has joined, so we will have, I believe, a full grid now.
Yes, we will. He'll be the other Alpine. Speaking of the Alpine, let's go to Crispy. He's on the medium tires as well. This was definitely not a rare occurrence. We saw him a lot in the Alpha Tauri, try to get through into the medium compounded tire into qualifying 3. Let's see if he can do it in the Alpine.
And right now,
almost hit the barriers.
Approaching with 5 minutes left, both McLarens have a set of time. We have Deer Hunter, Chili, Moo Moo, and Crispy also not setting a time, so it's going to be interesting with that.
Ton of drivers are on the mediums, by the way. It's quite opposite of what I thought would happen. Bailey right now is only one of the top 10, or I'm sorry, the top 7, I should say, barring Ardell, who is retired in the pit lane, though, so he will continue his position on the soft compounded tire up to P4, I believe. That is unsighted port. So he's up into the top 10 and in qualifying 3.
I think the thought process is this. With the medium tire, it gives you the option for a one-stop. If you start this race on softs, it is a big unknown of, okay, if you want to do soft medium, probably a bit of a stretch. You're probably doing soft hard. So I've heard medium hard is the preferred strategy in this race for Singapore. It was last season.
Definitely possible. Yeah, I can definitely confirm last season was very interesting indeed tire wear-wise, and this season has actually been progressively a little bit worse on some areas, but other areas it's been better. So let's see how it works out so far through the Singapore Grand Prix. 3 minutes and about 40 seconds left to go. 4 drivers have yet to set a time. Deer Hunter, Chili, Taylor Clan, and Moo Moo. So far, they are kind of staggering. 2 on the mediums, 2 on the softs. Deer and Taylor, the 2 Mercedes-powered, other than Chili, because technically he is Mercedes-powered as well in the Aston Martin, both on the softs, with Moo Moo and Chili both on the medium tires. Deer Hunter into 7 has purple sector 1.
Ooh, bit of a moment there.
Almost lost the car after going purple in sector 1. The traffic jam down in the exit of turn 13. That's Luciano, his teammate Chili, and the Red Bull of I Am Tweaking. Moo Moo goes up to P3, by the way. That's a Honda. Oh, no! Luciano into the back of I Am Tweaking. A 5-place grid penalty for the Aston Martin. Almost gets hit by Taylor Clan and the McLaren.
We have a Red Bull that's stopped, by the way. Or I believe they're letting the traffic through. Okay.
Yep. And Tweaking now, I believe he's going to be thinking his lucky stars from that one. He got scot-free from that after contact with Luciano. He'll say, and as at the moment it would be P2, but obviously the grid hasn't been set yet for the top 10. But Luciano will have a 5-place grid penalty. That's going to affect him a lot.
And Deer Hunter invalidated his current lap. He's going to have, I don't know the exact time left in this session, but this is probably his last shot.
It's now or never for Deer Hunter. Taylor Clan backed off because of that issue down into turn 14. He's now going to be going as well. He's at risk. Cookie is 14th. Ardell is out of qualifying. He is 12th. Bailey's on an outlap. The Ferrari, I believe that is going to be Etronha. Yes, it is, going through. Right now, he's out qualifying his teammate by about a 10th or so.
And right now, I mean, this train that Deer is leading. He's not set a time. You have Taylor behind him. His first lap, as you can tell, not ideal. And then behind him is Etronha. These three, it's going to be these will decide who's going to be in and out. And we also have Bailey on an outlap as well. Don't know.
By the way, the difference between Minico and, I mean, obviously Tweaking is about 5/10 or so, but, I mean, obviously the distance and the gap between the cars are pretty significant with the Red Bull being pretty good.
Yep.
But look at the gap between 1st and 10th. I mean, that's an insane gap.
It is, but you look at the gap from P3 to P8. I mean, 8 tenths.
That's close.
That's very close.
Yeah.
All on the same compound, so be interesting to see what we will see in Q3. So far, Deer.
Well, let's see if these guys will be in Q3.
Well, we'll see. Deer so far hasn't invalidated. Approaching 40 seconds remaining.
Through turn 21 into 22 and 23. Will Deer Hunter and the Mercedes team go into qualifying 3? Yes, they do. Provisional P2. Taylor Clan, the McLaren. He goes P4. He actually kind of backed out a little bit there.
Interesting. So those right now are the only two guys on softs, barring what Bailey does. And
in Chile, both on flying laps. Chile's going to be the next one to the line. He actually bails out, so his qualifying is done and dusted. He, at the moment, is safe by about 4 tenths. Bailey needs to find 9 tenths, and it's just going to be down between Edronha, Bailey, and Chile.
he found a 1/10.5 in the first sector.
Can he get into qualifying?
He's found.
the Haas.
He's 6.675 quicker on this lap, so we'll see.
He could get there. But even if he does, can he fight off Edronha? Well, we'll have to find out in a few corners' time. Bailey in the final sector. A week ago, he was in the AlphaTauri and had a really good chance of scoring some really good points. It didn't work out, but now he moves over to Haas. Can he get into qualifying 3 for the first time in his first appearance in the Haas car? He cannot. He's out by about a 10th. Heartbreaking for Bailey, but he's going to start P11 at maximum. Can Edronha, can he improve on his lap? He's purple in the second sector.
He was up by 4 tenths.
At the moment, he would be in then. Can he hold on? His teammates out of qualifying. Will there be a Ferrari into qualifying 3? Will be there a Ferrari-powered car? There's no Ferrari-powered car in the top 10. What about a Ferrari itself? Edronha through 23. Can he get into the top 10? Can he get into qualifying 3? Yes, he can.
Wow.
P6, that knocks Chile out. He's out of qualifying 2 with Bailey, Ron, Ardell, and Boss Cookie crashing out of the Singapore Grand Prix qualifying 2. It's going to be an incredible session. Cookie has to start from 15th.
Well, he'll actually start 14th, I believe, won't he? Because the Luciano.
Well, where Luciano.
Yeah, I was thinking about where. That's going to be key. That was a great lap there by Ed. He gained.
Yes, it was indeed. He gets up in the top 10. We'll see how it plays out for the rest of it. Minico tops the time sheets. Deer Hunter splits to 2 Red Bulls. Taylor Clan in 4th, Mumu in 5th. He's split by Ed Tronha, his teammate Alphanesis in 7th. Crispy in the Alpine has to look behind, well, actually, technically in front, at his former team. He's 8th. Unsigned Port 9th. Luciano out-qualifies Chile for the first time in their driver head-to-head comparison, but he has a 5-place grid penalty on his way. Chile in 11th. Bailey, Ron, Ardell all out of qualifying 2, and Boss Cookie crashing out. He's going to have to start at minimum from 15th. He could be 14th.
All depends on what happens in Q3. Which, now we'll see who's really got what now.
It also could be wet. Will it be wet?
I forgot about that.
It's not right now, but it could end up having a little bit of weather.
I did get a message that the race should be dry. But I mean, yeah, if the rain is coming, you're wasting time right here. You might as well get soft strapped up, and everyone needs to go now.
Well, everyone does look like they're going. Both Red Bulls have been tweaking and Minico. Minico getting out, I believe, ahead of tweaking.
Yeah, everyone.
The AlphaTauris go out.
It's easy to say who's not out, and that's going to be the Aston Martin, the Luciano, and I believe both McLarens haven't left. I believe everyone else is here we go. Now we get some action. The McLaren's leaving. Can't tell who that is. So, yep.
Looks like everyone but Deer Hunter, Luciano, and Taylor Clan are out on track now.
Unsighted just left. Maybe, well, inside it's got the benefit of if rain's not going to be impending now. He's got clean track where you see this mess here of the AlphaTauris and the Red Bulls. I mean, they got to get their stuff sorted out.
That they do. Right now, led by Crispy in the Alpine, moves over from AlphaTauri. Now, we'll see if he can get a good qualifying performance in his first appearance in the Alpine and qualifying. 3 behind him, though, is Ed Tronha. He wants a good appearance for the Ferrari team. They've had a little bit of struggle as of late. Deer Hunter's now out on track as well, on an out lap. He's in this train with the other AlphaTauri. That being, I believe, Mumu. Yes, it is. It's both AlphaTauris actually ahead of Deer Hunter. That, him and Alphanesis. Well, we'll see who gets the upper hand out of those two pairing.
Yeah, so far interesting. Taylor Clan and Luciano's. Now Luciano's leaving.
Ed pushing pretty hardly, trying to stay with Crispy going through. Now starting his flying lap. Crispy will start and be the first one to cross the line in a lap time. Behind him is going to be Ed Tronha in the Ferrari. He'll be behind. Behind him, though, is going to be a Red Bull, I believe, of Minico. Then I am tweaking behind him. Port's finally out of the pit lane. Or not Port, Taylor, I'm sorry. So there is no drivers left in the pit lane, but that's going to cause a little bit of chaos. Because obviously the apex of turn 3 is the exit of the pit lane. He stays clear.
Yeah, so far I don't see any rain. But with this...
Looking like it may stay.
Oh,
wait a minute. No, there is rain.
There is rain. There it is.
This could be a really good lap, by the way, for someone like Crispy or Ed Tronha. They could be in a really good position because they have, well, the least amount of track left with this wet condition.
The ones that might be in trouble here will be Taylor and Luciano, being the fact that they just left. The ones here, though, that are just in the Sector 2, I think the track's going to be dry enough just for them to set a time.
Well, how well will the time hold? That we'll have to find out. 8 minutes and about 20 seconds plus some change left in qualifying 3 for the top 10 shootout of the Breakout Racing League. A realistic performance here at the Singapore Grand Prix.
Oh.
Who can grab pole position? Crispy almost lost it going in to turn 20 through 21. A little bit wide. Will it be Crispy or Ed Tronha topping the timing sheets? Crispy's going to be the first one across the line in the Alpine. Ed Tronha goes provisional pole by about 0.6 of a second. Minico goes about 2 seconds quicker. Tweaking goes about 7 tenths behind his teammate. The two AlphaTauris up next. Mumu to third. His teammate Alphanesis now goes third by about 3 tenths. Deer Hunter splits the Red Bulls.
Wow.
What a lap from him.
0.004 down from Minico.
Arguably, I think if the track wasn't wet, he would have probably improved faster than Minico.
I agree. Now we're going to see, the two McLarens have to set a time. And Side of Port came out, I want to say 30 seconds behind this pack here that decided to go out. Taylor's the one that I'm wondering is if he's going to have the grip.
He may not. Him and Luciano are going to be in a similar boat as well. Luciano going through into 8. Port's about to start his flying lap. Actually, he's going through into 5 now. Taylor Clan is going right behind, actually, into turn. That's a yellow flag. I believe that's an AlphaTauri letting another driver through, that being Taylor Clan. Deer Hunter getting out of the way from Luciano. Going to be up to these guys. I don't think much other laps are going to be put.
No, I don't think so
Track's too wet.
either. As it's starting to, the rain's starting to intensify a little bit.
Well, this hurts Unsighted Port a lot more because, remember, he is 25 points back from Minico. He needs a good rebound. Well, at the moment, timing it this late, having the worst track condition compared to, obviously, Minico, Deer Hunter, I am tweaking, etc. He's going to have a slower lap time and may start from around 8th, 9th, 10th,
Well,
which also is not good for Luciano because he has that 5-place grid penalty. Almost lost the car, by the way, through 21.
it's also good.
Oh, and it validates through 22.
Taylor will set a time, P7. So we're still waiting on side of port to finish a lap, and same with Luciano. Now, right now, Red Bull 1 and 3, with Deere splitting them in the Mercedes. And then right now, you got McLaren P7, P10. So in a championship battle like this, you kind of want to be starting as high as you can right now.
Well, report that may be as high as he possibly can go. It's raining too much, to quote Charles Leclerc. 2/10 behind Crispy, but Crispy's going to split the two McLarens. Well, that means Luciano may be getting the short end of the stick here. 5th-place grid penalty already from qualifying 2, but he may, on top of that, qualify 10th because of the track condition, unless it dries out, which I don't think it is going to do.
No.
In 5 minutes' time.
I think right now I'd be in the position of, okay, there's nothing to gain right now, and it's getting worse and worse by the second. Last thing you want to do is just tear up your car. Ooh, he runs up.
And retire.
Yes.
That's definitely what you do not want in this situation. And, well, Red Bull as a whole have, I guess, agreed with you on that. They both retired in the pit lane. They will not take any further part in qualifying 3. So this very well could be the top 10 in order Minico ahead of Deer Hunter on the front row. But it also could be, what if the track dries out in about 4 minutes' time? You never know. I don't think
that's going to happen. If anything, we might see some guys throw on some intermediates and just do some inter runs, but I think that's going to be about it.
Well, Luciano, speaking of inter runs, he's a little experimenting with track limits. He didn't get off on the right foot with that one. Through 2.
I don't know if that was as much as okay.
Oh! That was a big crash.
That was a big crash indeed.
That's going to be taken a look at through the Stewards portal as well. Keep that in mind, as well as the Boss Cookie incident from qualifying 1. Those could be some possible Stewards inquiries for after the race. Well, Luciano, I said he may start 10th. He will start 10th. Crispy's on an outlap. Will he go back in? Not too sure. Taylor Clan and Insider Port, both McLarens also retire in the pit lane. And look at the track condition. I think it is just way too wet.
Yeah, it's too wet. I mean, I'm looking at Deere right now. Yeah. I'm surprised DRS is still enabled, if I'm honest.
Well, it may be disabled halfway down the straight if Crispy's not lucky enough. Can he try and pull something completely out of nowhere and improve on a very wet track? I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it because Deere is, I mean, it's not him because he's all over the place. You can just tell the car is just, yeah. And Crispy's retired.
And he retires on track. So that's also going to be something else that is taken to the Stewards portal after the race.
That truck's going to be busy. Just get in line. You know, gonna have Boss Cookie, gonna have the Nico in that line, and now you can add Luciano, and then Tweaking, and then, I mean, this Stewards are gonna have a late night.
Or an early morning, depending on how long they decide to stay up.
Yeah. They're gonna need some coffee.
They're gonna need a lot of things.
They're gonna need, well, I mean, just go see Nicholas Latifi. He'll hook you up.
Red Bull. Supply for life, apparently.
No, is it Latifi sponsored by, was it that Lavas?
Oh, was it, yeah, I think, isn't that coffee?
Yeah, I actually had that coffee. It's not bad. I tell you what's been kind of forgotten. I mean, Deer Hunter's kind of messing up the show here because if it wasn't for Deer Hunter, we would have technically a Red Bull 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a really good performance there by AlphaTauri to get P4 and P5 with their new drivers.
It's an incredible performance there, and maybe I need to hook up and talk to someone to how to use your mouth properly because I just spilled Coke all over me.
No, good thing there's not a camera.
That's one good thing. That's one thing I can say.
Supply, we did ask for photos. Don't take that one.
Well, I think this is pretty much going to be qualifying done and dusted. We're just waiting on Deer Hunter and Ed Tronha.
And Deer's going to come in the pits. As yeah, it's and that's it. Other than Deer in the pits, that's it. Everyone else is retired.
All right, I had my little pit stop, so now we're good.
Well, we don't really get these type of sessions. Usually we're all tense and trying to see who's going to make the pole or whatever. They have pretty much the last 7 minutes just be this. It's kind of rare, so gives the drivers at least a little bit of a breather because, you know, like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be one very long race, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the last 15 minutes if that plays any role. You know, right now we're approaching 50 minutes so far completed, and yeah, 52 minutes since the start of qualifying. And when you add the race, formation lap, etc., you're probably looking at another hour.
Well, we have an hour to go. Who gets back in the podium places by that hour's time? Minico will go from pole. Deer Hunter alongside him on the front row, tweaking behind Minico with Alphanesis and Mumu, the sister Red Bull cars, in fourth and fifth. Technically, I guess Honda powered necessarily, but it's a Honda 1, 2, 3, or I say 1, 3, 4, 5. Entrona has 6. Taylor Cran is 7th. Crispy, Port, and Luciano round out the top 10. Luciano has a 5-place grid penalty. He'll start 15th.
Well, that's good for Boss Cookies. He'll be promoted 1. No, Monza a couple weeks ago, he started, I want to say, in the last row, and he was, I think he was already in the points after 2 laps. Of course, Monza's, I would say, an easier track to overtake compared to Singapore, but we'll see.
We'll see, indeed. I mean, some drivers would like to disagree with you, but most can agree. It is definitely more difficult to overtake here at Singapore, and that's why strategy is going to be so important. And as the moment, the top 10, obviously you're going to have a free choice of, the top 10 have a lock choice of tire. They have to qualify, or they started the race on the ones they qualified through into qualifying 3 on, that being soft for everyone, medium for everyone except for Taylor Clan, Entrona, and Deer Hunter. But with, obviously, Luciano getting that 5-place grid penalty, he'll start from 15th on his tires that he qualified through into qualifying 3 on. So Chile, Bailey, Ron Swanson, Ardell, Cookie, Vetta on back, all have free choice of tire, and all of them so far have chosen the medium compounded tire, except for Supply Raptor in 17th. He's gone hard.
Interesting.
Well, it may work out in his favor, but you never know. Also gone hard, that's now Ferrari Nut in the Alpine. Why not?
Well, yeah. Barring, if you get an early safety car, they could stay out. I would assume if the early safety car comes out around lap 4 or 5, the medium guys stay out. The question mark is going to be what the soft runners do.
Pirelli say they can go around 8 to 10 laps on the soft compounded tire. The medium can go around 17 to 20, and the hard can go surplus of 30 plus. So maybe we could have a differing strategy. We could have a medium to hard. We can have some drivers trying to pull off that soft to medium. They're going to have to need some severe tire wear saving skills. Well, we could possibly have it. We'll have to see at the end of the 31 laps. But we also have some drivers on the hard compounded tire. They may try to do the alternate. But it's going to be all about strategy, all about overtaking. But who can survive turn 1, lap 1, and who can make it to lap 31?
Yeah, it's going to be turn 1, and then it's going to be, turn 6? The end of the first DRS straight. They won't have DRS for the opening 3 laps. But those are going to be the action points for their opening lap. And then penalties. That's going to be a thing to watch for the end.
Definitely. As now the formation lap begins. Once again, it's going to be crazy down in the turn 1. But it's always crazy in realistic tier. It's nothing new here. Menico will lead him away from the Mercedes of Deer Hunter. And then his teammate, I Am Tweaking, the 2 Alpha Tauris, Alphanesis and Mumu. Ed Tronha in 6th, Taylor Clan in 7th. Behind him, Crispy in the Alpine. Then you have unsighted Port, Chile rounds out the top 10. Bailey in his first debut for Haas. He sits 11th. Ron Swanson in the Ferrari in 12th. Ardell 13th. Cookie has a little bit of work to do from 14th. Luciano with his 5-place grid penalty from 15th. 16th, Feta. 17th, Raptor. Valkyrie, DXC, and Ferrari Nut in the Alpine rounds out the grid. It's going to be a crazy race a season ago, I should say. we had this same car. Taylor Clan won the Singapore Grand Prix in Season 2 of the realistic tier, Season 6 of the Breakout Racing League as a whole. And out of that race, 15 drivers finished, 10 had penalties, 64% chance of getting a penalty. Well, you said it was going to be a talking point. Track limits. We'll see how that plays out today. And it's going to be a huge talking point. We'll see how it goes out.
Yep. Well, we'll see if the Red Bull family can be nice going into turn 1. I mean, you got how nervous do you think Zach is? Yes. Good news. You have all 4 of your cars in the top 5.
Bad news is they're all in the top 5.
Yeah.
I would be more worried if I was Deer Hunter right now, though. He is surrounded by 4 Honda cars, all on the medium tire, as the sole Mercedes in the top 5, actually the top 6 with Ed Tronha, and the only one in the top 5 on softs. Deer has to get past Minico as quick as possible if he wants the soft to work.
If he wants the soft to work, he has to basically, I would say, beat Minico at the start and try to open a gap as soon as he can. He'll have 4 to 5 laps in order to do that before his softs start to deteriorate. That's going to be very key in his opening first lap between those two.
It will. Everyone has gone medium tire except for Zavia Raptor. Ferrari Nut both have gone the hards, and obviously the top 10 have the start of the tires they qualified through on, and the 3 softs for Taylor Clan, for Ed Tronha, and for Deer Hunter. So it's going to be mostly medium throughout the grid, but Minico is going to take his place on the grid relatively quick on the formation lap. So the grid is not going to be stationary for a little bit as we wait on, well, Ferrari Nut, but there's drivers behind him, that being, I believe, the Haas of Bailey, because I'm not surprised, and I believe that being one of the Alfa Romeos, it could be DXT Shigo. It is DXT, no, it's not, it's actually BRL Ardell. So we'll wait for him to go to the lights and his grid position. Actually, was it DXT Shigo? Well, we'll have to go take a look at that, how it goes out through the Grand Prix itself. 31 laps of the Singapore Grand Prix. There's a lot of Hondas in the top 5. Who finishes there? The Singapore Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go. We had a long hold. That's actually a really good start from the Alpha Tauri. He's already out there, almost collision with the 2 McLarens. Down to the turn 1, the 2 Alpha Tauris. Well, they were trying to vote, and now they have a little bit of contact, and they both swarmed ahead of Tweaking in the Red Bull. It's now Minico from Deer Hunter from Alpha Nisas. He had an incredible start, trying to challenge Deer Hunter into turn 1. Alpha Nisas now with I Am Tweaking down to the turn 5. He makes a little bit of contact, but Tweaking's back ahead. A Moo in the Alpha Tauri. He can't get ahead of Alpha Nisas and the Alpha Tauri, though. A little bit of yellow flags, contact made, but here comes the Alpha Tauri. I'm sorry, the Alpine on the Ferrari at Tronha. Crispy down the inside, ahead of the Ferrari. And he's going to get up into 6th. It's been a kind of calm, chaotic start. 3 wide down in the turn 8. I would say calm and chaotic. That is now on the wall. Etrona and Chile in the Aston Martin.
Yeah, and it's DXT also had a moment in the first couple of corners. He's down to P20. So far, Minico, good start. Already built the gap over a second.
It's an incredible start, over 1.2 seconds over Deer Hunter, who has a 1.2 second gap over Tweaking. Alphanesis, he got overtaken by the Red Bull, by Mumu, then Crispy, then Cookie up into the top 10. He's up into 7th. He's on a charge once again. We said look out for him. Port ahead of Taylor, ahead of Bailey's in the points. Veda gets past Ardell. Chili, does he have damage in the Aston Martin? He was on the wall for a bit.
Let's take a look here. I can't tell if he's got... I don't think he does.
He may not. He may have escaped that one, but I believe Edron definitely has some damage going in the Ferrari. Minico sets the fastest lap at the Grand Prix. There's a predicted pit stop strategy once again. Well, it's going to be soft to medium.
Both Ferraris are pitting.
Or a lot of drivers. There's contact in the pit lane, too. Haas's, they're side by side. Both have no wing. That's going to be Feta, Luciano.
That's 6,
both
7.
Ferraris. That is almost the entire grid. And 5-second time penalty, Luciano and Ardell. That is 13th on down. That is 7. That's 8 drivers. Both Aston Martins, both Ferraris, both Alfa Romeos, and the Haas Feta.
And you have to feel bad for the Ferrari guys and the Aston Martin guys, especially the ones who had to do the double box. They had no choice but to sit and hold. They're going to be wanting a safety car.
They definitely do. Hards can make it to the end. and Luciano, Valkyrie, Feta, Ron. Valkyrie also was in that group as well. I've all chosen the hard. Same with DXC Ishio down in 20th. Right now, Tweaking is closing in on the Mercedes of Deer Hunter, looking for that second position. Deer Hunter is 1.4 off of the pace from Miniko. Miniko is already charging ahead.
Miniko is gone. I would say with the whole lap one kind of fury there with 7 cars pitting, who did benefit that a lot was Supply and Ferrari, the ones that started on hards.
They're already up to 11th and 12th respectively. They could be on for some reverse points here. They could grab that from what? 20th for Ferrari, not outside the top 15 for Supply Raptor, I believe in 17th position, both on the hards. They could do the reverse strategy and grab some good and quality points. Well, they're on their way, already almost there.
Well, back up front, Deer has closed the gap to now 1.1 as DRS is enabled, starting lap 3.
And here goes the move now. Boss Cookie on the AlphaTauri of Mumu. Those two down to the turn 1. It was squeezing for the AlphaTauri along the wrong way round and off the track in turn 2. And Cookie will get ahead of the AlphaTauri of Mumu. He's now charging at it. Crispy almost lost the car. He's not going to be under pressure from inside of port. And not too long going down the DRS straight down to the turn 7. Can he grab the move? He has the DRS. He's going to have the ERS and the slipstream. The McLaren Mercedes power. He's going to go have the move to the left-hand side of the Alpine. He will go for the move. He'll go to the inside and he'll get the move done well before the apex of the corner. Port's up to 7th.
It's been kind of a quiet start for McLaren. They haven't moved much since their starting spots. The team that's really been on the charge has been Mercedes with Boss Cookie. Up 10 spots, if my math is right.
Let's take a look at the position change. And you are definitely, almost, you were close. It's up 9 positions from 14th on the grid. It would have been 10 if he would have started in 15th. Ferrari Nuts up 8 positions. Supply Raptor up 6 positions. Down 13 for Red Toronja and the Ferrari, but the top 4 hasn't moved. It could move in a second with Cookie closing on. He's charging on Alphanesis. He wants this position as quick as possible. He wants to dispose of the AlphaTauri. He wants to get on that podium.
Yep, so far we have no penalties. Well outside the Ardell and Luciano contact on pit road. And tell you who this start has played in their hands. Supply and Ferrari. It's played in their hands. It's played in Bailey's hands. He's sitting P10. Now, these kind of top 9, they're kind of in their own little battle here. So here goes Boss Cookie on the outside. And, ooh, good contact there, but he gets the spot, looks like. Alphanese will try to fight back on the inside. Alphanese will have DRS going into the second straight. As up
Who
front.
survives this time? He's way too far in front.
Yeah, that Mercedes just no match for the AlphaTauri.
Well, Cookie's now gone up 10 positions up to 4th. He's charging in. It's now a Mercedes and a Red Bull. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not in that order, obviously. Miniko being first, Tweaking being third, and a 2-4 for Mercedes. But Cookie's pressurizing Tweaking. He's under pressure. He's getting a little bit difficult out here.
Yeah, he's certainly not messing around, and with his pace, you know, Tweaking's 3 seconds back from his Cookie's teammate Deer, as Miniko's just slowly and surely increasing the gap.
He thought about the move in on the turn 14, though.
Now he's thinking
he's going to
about
go for it anyway. Look at the traction he's going to get from the exit of turn 14. Will he go for the move into 15 and 16? No, he will not. But Tweaky's going to run a little bit wide. Will he stay with the move into 17 and 18? Yes, he will. Will he go for it in the 19? No, he will not. Too far back. He stays behind the Red Bull. But all the while, they're now 4 seconds behind Deer Hunter and the Mercedes. And here comes Alphanesis right on the back of the Mercedes of Cookie.
I had shades thoughts of Sergey Sorokin and Sergio Perez right there.
Well, Cookie's not done yet. He went for the move last 2 laps straight on the straightaway. He'll go for the third one on a third Honda-powered car. This time is well before turn 1. He's up to third.
Yep, and now I have both Mercedes cars in the podium positions where they need to be in order to gain ground on this championship. And
well, now who survives out of this battle? The AlphaTauri and the Red Bull is going to have DRS on the Mercedes. Well, they ain't even trying to charge.
be interesting to see how long Deer can push on these tires. You know, he said the cutoff was 8 to 10 laps. And it'd be interesting to see how quickly Boss Cookie can catch up to his teammate.
Speaking of teammates, Alphanese is pressurizing. I am tweaking. His teammate Mumu has a little bit of a train going behind him, being on side of port. Crispy Taylor, those three cars just kind of pressurizing and doing the best they can, sticking behind the AlphaTauri. And they have a 5-second gap to Bailey and a 5-second gap from Bailey to Raptor.
And then about 4.4 to Ferrari Nut. Is there early part in this race? Completing only lap 5, or we're on lap 5 actually.
Port couldn't get through into 14 on Mumu. These two used to fight, remember, back when Mumu was in the Red Bull. The first 3-4 races of the season were only won by these two drivers. Now they're battling for 6th.
If you're inside of port, I mean, it doesn't matter who you're battling right now. They need to move forward. You know, you have Manico leading as, ooh, wow. Boss Cookie's not messing. He's not messing around.
No, he's not. He wants to get up to his teammate. He wants to get up to Minico. He wants a chance at this Singapore Grand Prix victory.
I think
Port, he's going to get the DRS this time into 6. And the DRS straight and the run into 7. Will he make it this time? The McLaren chasing after the AlphaTauri. He has the slipstream. He has the ERS. He has the DRS. He'll go to the right-hand side and around the outside of the corner. Late braking from McLaren, side by side. A little bit of contact. They're still wheel to wheel. Going into 8. Still side by side around the outside. A little bit of contact. Port and Mumu. These two used to battle. And first, second. Oh no! They're both around. Port and Mumu.
Ow. And here comes Bailey. Bailey will now be put up to P9. I don't see any damage on Mumu. Port, on the other hand, looking at the overhead shot, I don't see any damage for him as well.
This 2 didn't fit into 1. Wow. That's going to put Port back a little bit behind his teammate Taylor, who's on the soft compounded tire. Ardell gets past Feta. Battle for 15th. The Alfa Romeo ahead of the Haas. Right now, the Haas is on par for what the manager said earlier on. Ethan, the Haas manager, said he wanted at least to shoot for 2 points. He wants some points. Right now, Bailey is succeeding in that, but he has to fight off Mumu, who's actually behind him by about 9/10 of a second. Can he hold on? Right now, the same can be said for I Am Tweaking in the Red Bull. He's falling back a little bit. Alphanesis and the AlphaTauri, the sister Honda car, DRS, and gets let through. He's up to 4th.
Oh, Taylor gets a penalty. Speeding under pit lane while pitting, getting rid of his soft tires. That could matter later on. So we have a car in the wall. I believe that is, who is that?
Luciano.
As Boss Cookie gets by Deere.
They swapped at Mercedes to go try and get after Minico.
Well,
so that's now plan done from 14th to 2nd.
And it was smart to swap because Deere's going to be pitting in the next couple of laps, you would think anyways. No sense in holding your teammate up. He could challenge and close that gap to Manico.
Well, it's about 5.5 seconds between him and the Mercedes car. Tweaking is now out of DRS from Alphanesis. He's pulling pretty rapidly. Mumu is closing in and actually overtaking the Haas of Bailey. He gets up to 8th and 9th to the Haas. The other Haas is pressurizing Ardell into turn 5, that being Feta.
Yeah, Feta unfortunately got caught out in that lap 1. Didn't really get to see what happened with his start, his opening lap. As Ethan's alluding to with his Haas drivers, you know, all they got to do is, if they could just drive the best they can and keep the car in one piece, just do what Bailey's doing right now. Take advantage of what happens around you.
Feta gets past Ardell up to 15th. Now he's going to go chase after Feta Cheese as Edron has gotten past Ardell because Ardell's actually gone around. He's now going to be 17th.
That's going on. Chile picked up a 3. I believe Luciano picked up a 3. And no, that was pit lane. Valkyrie's the one that picked up another 3.
Tweaking, that's why he was falling back. He has a wing change. He pits for Hards in the Red Bull.
You have to go 23 laps on those tires.
It's doable.
It is very indeed doable. As up front, Boss Cookie's he's kind of slowly eating on Miniko's time.
Oh. Tweaking almost lost it out of the pit lane. Thankfully, he kept it within the white lines. We will not be receiving a time penalty or a warning for I guess, crossing the white line on exit, which could possibly lead to a penalty later on. Luciano gets past Ardell, battle for 17th. Aston Martin ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Right now, it's kind of just standstill.
Yeah, it is kind of sort of status quo right now. This pit lane exit, it's a very tricky pit lane exit, I won't lie.
Very difficult indeed. Numerous chances to hit that barrier on the outside as well. You have to keep it tight.
Yeah.
And if you don't keep it tight, you could run over into the racing line and have a little bit of contact with the driver there. So it's not really the safest of pit lane exits, I would say.
No, it's not. As Ardell has retired. Is that on track? It is.
That is in the exit of turn 5, and that is
Safety
a
car.
safety car. That will help a lot of the drivers on the hards. One of them being I Am Tweaking. That's going to bunch the field back together, and Deer Hunter's automatically in.
Well, looks like, let's see who stays out. When the safety car came out, was that ahead of where is Miniko? Yeah,
Yes, it is. He's going down into turn 7.
Here's my question. When the safety car was called out, was Miniko already past pit lane?
I think he was.
Interesting. Well, Boss Cookie also stays out, so one would ask the same thing because everyone else behind them are pitting.
That's a no-brainer, really.
It's really not. I think Supply and Ferrari, not they're pitting. They have no choice to probably go to mediums.
Well,
yeah.
Fortunately for them. Actually, they probably can make it to the end of the Grand Prix. It's going to be tight, though.
What this does bring in is it brings in all those 7 cars that had to pit on the opening lap. It kind of gives...
It does. Feta stays there. Actually, he's been overtaken by Tronha. And that's why, because he's into the pit lane.
Now, my question is... okay, so Taylor did not pit. I know you can get a 5-second for speeding removed. Can you get a 5-second for contact removed in the pits?
I believe so.
Well, if that is the case, where is Luciano? Luciano's pitting. We'll find out after his pit indicator goes out. Because the person, it does.
It's removed. So Taylor and Crispy, the only two with 5-second time penalties to their name. 3 for Valkyrie and Chili. Into the pit lane goes Miniko in the Red Bull, as it means, well, Cookie's going to be following suit not too long.
One would assume, yes. So one would assume that when the safety car was called out, they were already too far past pit lane.
Will this be an issue? No, not even close. They're going to still get out a decade and a half ahead of Alphanesis.
Well, prior to the safety car coming out, Cookie was not rapidly quicker than Miniko, but he was taking a little bit of that lead out bit by bit. Now you put them on the same tire with their batteries all charged up. This is going to be a straight dogfight, I believe.
Yes, it will. Taylor Clant comes in to stop. He's going to get his 5-second time penalty removed and possibly go on to the hard compounded tires as well, meaning it's only going to be Crispy, the only driver with a 5-second time penalty that to be removed or applied at the end of the, end of his finishing time. The rest is going to be Chili and Valkyrie with a 3-second time penalty apiece. We're going to have around 2 or so more laps of the safety car queue. There's a lot of drivers spread all across the circuit. We could be here for a while.
Right then, what did Crispy get his 5 seconds? What? Was that speeding?
Speeding in the pit lane.
I was speeding, okay.
Well, safety car bunches everyone up, changes everything, puts Miniko and Cookie on that straight fight, but it also puts a lot of these guys like Alphanesis, Crispy, Tweaking. He got his wing repaired, so that gets him back onto, the level playing field with a lot of the other drivers. Moo Bailey into the top 10. Chili stays out, by the way, one of only 2, now the only one, who's actually one of 2, or 3 if you count Valkyrie, as he has stayed out. So, I mean, it also puts a lot of drivers from Ferrari not on back to the medium tire. I think they can go to the end.
It's going to be close. I tell you, there's 3 drivers right now that are in their cars going, you could not be. There's 7 drivers that are happy right now. I know 3 drivers right now that aren't happy. And it's Bailey, Ferrari Nut, and Supply, because they were all by themselves. And now they have the whole field right behind them.
That's going to be a testament of their ability. Can they stay in those positions? Ferrari Nut has a good chance to move up in the top 10. Bailey, can he go up even further in the top 10? Same with Supply Raptor. Well, it's going to be a testament of, well, there's 21 laps to go. There's plenty of time for a lot of things to happen at Singapore. It always tends to happen. Always seems to be a bit chaotic at times. And there always seems to be a little bit of pit stop drama. I guess that was our pit stop drama with Cookie Minico obviously being ahead of the pit lane by the time the safety car went out.
Yeah. Let's see. We're still waiting on 6 cars to catch the queue. Safety car. How many laps has it been? I mean, these laps here take forever.
I believe we are going to be in this time by, if not, then at least the next time.
Yeah, I think, who is that coming? I believe that's that. Who is that still trying to catch up to the field? Yeah, it's Supply and Feta. Those should catch up in time. And then you got Ed, Trahan, Luciano. They're trying to catch up.
It'll be close for DXD and Ron Swanson.
It's going to be very
They're down
close
the
for
main
them.
straight. Well, we'll find out around the 3rd sector, which, to be fair, the safety car will slow up, so there's a good chance that those guys do catch up if we are to be in this lap. But if we're in next lap, they'll be clear and well ahead into the queue.
Trying to see here. So far, I would say the big winner out of the outside the 7 that pitted, Chile staying out. That's a very interesting decision.
Well, theoretically, the hards can go around 30 or so laps, and with him being basically caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time in the first lap, that's put him in the backfield, and I guess on the back foot of a lot of his own strategy calls to staying out, and put himself in some good track position with the difficulties to overtake at Singapore. Could play out, but he needs to hold off Ferrari Nut, Taylor Clan, and the rest of the medium runners behind him.
Sorry, my headset fell off.
I believe we will be in next time by, unless the safety car pulls a hard left in the pit road.
I would think the message already would have been
3
relayed.
seconds. Yeah. You never know. He'll hop over the curbs. He's not afraid to show the Aston Martin rallying. Burt Mylander.
Well, yeah.
And yes, we are out for another lap.
Hey, you never know in virtual real life of when the safety car is going to come in.
True. You know what? It's going in right now. Just go. Middle of turn 1. Safety car just disappears. No, that's being Ed Tronha. He goes into the pit lane along with his teammate Ron Swanson. Ron's going to get off his hards and I believe go on to the medium compounded tire and take advantage of the safety car staying out an extra lap.
There, that or you could do what Lewis tried to do in 2016. You could go past the safety car. I remember he tried to do that in the rain at Silverstone. Like, what are you doing? You can't do that.
Well, it's going to take a Lewis-esque Singapore Grand Prix. That's the second half of it. If you're Boss Cookie or Deer Hunter, or maybe even I am tweaking in these top cars to get back up to where they started in the top 4, and Cookie should have been up in that top 4 if it wasn't for that DNF in qualifying 2. But Alphanisas has done a really good job along with him. Crispy, his teammate Mumu was up there with him, but that double stack put him on the back foot, put him behind I am tweaking and Unsighted Port. By the way, Unsighted Port is in a great position. If he can go to the end on those medium compounded tires, he could be quick for the first half and just hold him up the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with that decision. He is basically the only one on mediums in the top 10. Oh, yeah, actually, he is. Interesting, though, these guys 11th down to 16th, all on mediums. interesting to see if they can make inroads, as there's the message we've been waiting for.
So safety car will be in this lap. We'll have completed by the end of this lap 12 of the 31 laps. So we're going to have around, well, what, 19 or so laps to go?
Yeah.
About halfway, give or take.
Give or take, yeah.
So now it begins.
Looking at the Alpine of Crispy. Wonder if that car is going to have pink on it next year.
Could.
Well.
Oh, almost lost the car. Boss Cookie doing a little bit of drifting out of the exit of turn turn 19, I should say.
Well, we're going to see.
So here we go.
Yep.
Minico goes really early. He's going to catch him all off guard. Cookie stays with them, though. But he caught Deer Hunter out a little bit. He's behind the Williams of Valkyrie into turn 1.
Yeah, Valkyrie being a lap down. Hopefully they can find a way to yield and not hold up his competitors.
Yellow flying around. That's going to be Moo
That's
in the
Moo Moo.
Alpha Tauri. He's around at turn 2 into 3. What has happened to the Alpha Tauri? He's not going to be outside the points in 18th.
How quickly things can change.
He's looking for a move in the Alpine of Crispy into 8. He backs out of it. Wasn't close enough that time, and definitely things changed really quickly for the Alpha Tauri driver. Feta gets past Luciano, battle for 13th. Luciano gets back at Feta. They're side by side, the two, going through in to turn 10, I believe.
Riding it up to P9 by virtue of passing Chile and by virtue of Mumu's mistake. And then now he's got basically, yeah, he's got a whole bunch of guys on hard ahead of him.
Watching this man inside of port, the championship hopeful. He's trying to chase after. At the moment, Crispy in the championship, Minico down the inside. He'll look for it. A little bit of contact spins him around, and contact hard made between the Alpine and the McLaren.
Meanwhile, up front, Boss Cookie is all over the gearbox of Minico.
It's all kicking off back here, side by side, tweaking a Ferrari nut. It is all kind of a parking lot. Contact between the Alpine and the Red Bull around the outside. Chile on Ferrari nut. What a move. Ferrari nut down the inside of Chile. Contact made between the Aston and the Alpine. Raptor gets past Taylor. Taylor still side by side. Into 22. Crispy pits. Around goes Valkyrie. And is all kicking off in the back here. The mid-pack for the lower points paying positions.
Let's see if DRS is enabled this lap. No, it's not, but Boss Cookie is all over Minico. Had a little bit of a moment on the exit. Thought about it.
He did think about it, but Taylor's going to think about it too on Crispy. Will he be close enough this time? Yes, he will. He'll go for the move. Same will Ferrari Nut on I Am Tweaking. Ferrari Nut, he's side by side with I Am Tweaking in the Red Bull. Through into turn 8. Deeksy Ishigo picks up a time penalty, and Tweaking holds on for 6th. The Alpine's still not done. Ferrari Nut wants a little bit of action. He can't get the Red Bull on this occasion.
Oh, this is going.
Oh, yes, he will. Down into turn. Oh, no, this won't work. They're side by side. They both run wide. He's up to 6th. Ferrari Nut goes past Tweaking. Chile was looking for the move after they both went wide. Oh, no! Contact between Luciano and Taylor Clan. Luciano spun around. That was a little bit too late on the brakes.
Meanwhile, back up front now, it's a half a second between Boss and Minico. Boss might be just waiting for when the DRS is activated, then to make his charge.
Was he'll be enabled this time by.
It should
he
be.
Could have a charge.
Didn't see the message pop up. There it is.
This could be the lead of the race.
One thing I have noticed in the last couple of races, the Mercedes, for some reason, even with them using the button and the Red Bull being conservative not, they've been faster, give or part, with the in their fight.
We'll see if they're faster now. Cookie with DRS, with the ERS with slipstream to the right-hand side of turn 7. He'll go around the outside. Minico pushes him wide. They're still side by side into 8. They're wheel to wheel. Cookie goes from 14th to 1st on lap 15 of the Singapore Grand Prix. What an incredible drive it's been so far for Cookie, but he still has to pull away.
Remember, it was these two that had, let's just say, a little bit of an issue in Q1. It's a good thing that we saw some clean racing, though, between those two.
A little bit is an understatement. Ferrari Nut gets past Bailey up into 5th. Bailey was almost getting a nosebleed for how high he had that Haas with the mistakes. And, well, a lot of the drivers around him.
Well,
he was doing a great job. He's still doing a great job in the Haas in 6th.
And so is his teammate, Feta. He's sitting there, P11. A second behind Mumu. See what Haas can get out of this. You know, we heard what Ethan said. They want to be ahead of Alfa Romeo, and they want to be ahead of Williams in the championship. Right now, you would say, with what Bailey's doing, job done.
Right now, they would gain, what, 8 points or so on Alfa Romeo. That would put them 3 points clear. And there's 5 points going in. With this 8 points, he'll be 3 points clear going into Japan. And that could be a huge boost to morale for the Haas team and putting him up into 8th in the Constructors' Championship ahead of Alfa Romeo and of Williams. It's been an incredible season so far for them. Feta grabs a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings and track extensions. Raptor looks for a move on Chile. Down in the front straightaway, he thinks better of it and stays behind.
You know, up front, it's Boss Cookie head by half a second over Manico. Looks like Deere is slowly closing in on these two.
Well, I said Raptor and Chile. Raptor was waiting for the DRS again. He will go for the DRS again, but this time, Mumu's with them around the outside of turn 7 like it was the Mercedes and the Red Bull. This time, the Alpha Tower gets pushed wide, and Chile lets it back in, and Mumu has the position at 9th.
Did I miss something with IM tweaking? I noticed he's pitted.
Yes, he pitted. I believe he had front wing damage for the, absolute car park it was after the contact between unsighted Port and I believe it was Crispy. Both their drivers are 15th, 16th, and 17th now. Port, Twinking, and Crispy.
Well, so far Manico's P2, but with their other driver not in the points. Right now, Mercedes is the one that's really taking advantage right now in the championship. Gap was what, 61 points?
62.
62.
Yellow flag. Ron Swanson's around in the Ferrari. And with contact with Chile into turn 14, what has happened between the Aston and the Ferrari? Chile is yet
Safety
to get
car.
going again. He has, that's why. No front wing into the barriers. And that is going to help Boss Cookie's case for a bit.
Well, what do you do here? You're pitting on lap 17. Ferrari nut, well, he's pitting. So is Taylor Klein. Are they going to go to softs here? You would
No.
Well? Oh,
Too far.
Wow. Mumu just been
Mumu.
handed a 5-second
Ooh.
penalty.
That is into the pit lane once again. We've seen that so far throughout the race. It happened. Chile clambers over the curbs as he goes now into the pit lane to repair his front wing in the Aston Martin.
Looks like all of them so far, all of them going to mediums.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking. I said that. Now looked at how many.
Oh!
Valkyrie. That's.
I swear, you say it every week.
Every week.
What do you say every week?
What's that annoying message I tell you every time a safety car comes out, or even a VSC? The Delta. And it's
The Delta.
It's for that reason in particular.
Well, now he's going to have a drive-through penalty. He will have to serve at the exit and the, entrance of, the safety car.
To put
So
that
he cannot serve it during safety car conditions.
And to put it in perspective, you might as well just throw away 22 seconds away. That's how crucial it is. It's not a stop and go, it's just a drive-through. You can't service your car during that drive-through.
And unfortunately for Valkyrie, he is already a lap down, and this will put him even further behind.
Indeed it will. So the top 5 all stayed out. They're on hards. Well, I'll take that back. Manico's pitting. So is Boss.
Who gets ahead?
Actually,
it's going to be crucial.
Everyone pits, so
Cookie's away. Deere is in. Alphanesis is in.
Nico
Can Deer Hunter stay ahead of Alphanesis, though?
yes he will. Oh no!
Oh, no, he won't. The double stack hurt him in the long run. Alphanesis is now going to be ahead of Deer Hunter, and that's going to be a little bit of buffer from Minico to Deer Hunter.
And it looks like Ed Tronhall will stay out, so that's two.
Oh, that's even more of a buffer.
That's even more of an issue that Deer Hunter has to deal with. If you're Minico, you're looking at the Ferrari behind going, thank you.
Oop, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Well, because of that, the safety car will come out once again. We're going to wait for the drivers to catch the cue, as only the top 5 have done so now. And Deer Hunter's, there he is. So we're going to wait for everyone else. The rest of, well, the 14 drivers left in the field. Valkyrie is going to come into pit for soft compounded tire. Feta overtakes DXD. I believe, is that DXD? No, it's not into the pit lane. Not sure exactly what happened between those two there. But Feta to 14th, Bailey to 8th. Raptor up in the points in 10th. Tweaking doing a good job trying to recover in 11th now. But it's going to be about Boss Cookie Minico.
Interesting to see if perhaps Mumu and Supply come in to get rid of their 5 seconds. Still, it's only it's a little bit after the midway point, but those 5 seconds are going to be killer. You have P9, P10, they have 5 seconds. 12th, 14th, 15th, 17th, they all have 3-second penalty, and Valkyrie with his drive-through that he has to serve that under green, so it's after the safety car.
So now the last car we'll have to wait for to catch the safety car, Q being Luciano in the Aston Martin. And it's been an up and down day, mostly down for the two at Aston Martin of Luciano and Chile. Well, you saw Luciano in, a little bit of contact between him and Taylor Clant. And to turn 13, we saw Chile with that contact with Ron Swanson that brought out the safety car into turn 14. They're going to have a little bit of work to do from 17th and 18th, respectively, to go try out and grab some points for themselves in Aston Martin.
The one that's had a very, very quiet race is Alphanese sitting in P4. He's got Deer Hunter on him, behind him. He's got Ed in front. Be interesting to see how quickly he can dispatch the Ferrari ahead of him, who is on 5-lap hards. Make that 6-lap hards, I believe. But he's had a
So Mercedes at the moment will actually grab 35 points to Red Bull's 18. McLaren will only grab, 6?
Yep.
So that's going to be,
almost half. If you think of it. Yeah, they will gain 17 points on Red Bull. So their gap would be 45 points, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. They're not out of this fight yet. Don't count them out. But Red Bull would actually take the Constructors' Championship back from McLaren by about 12 points.
So,
correction, by about 6 points.
All I know is it's getting tighter and tighter up front, which makes it more exciting to call. And
absolutely.
And right now you got inside of port 16th on no points. You got Minico P2. He's got the opportunity here to extend his championship gap more.
By the way, Cookie and Deer Hunter are not out of the championship fight.
No, they're not.
In fact, 65 points between Cookie and Minico. 42 between Minico and Deer. Taylor Clan, 61. Bailey's even closer with 35. It's really close up front. Well, in fact, the top 7 are all within 75 points of each other.
Well, we've not really had anyone in this championship grab it by, in both hands and just control it. It's been, one driver will have a couple of race stretch there. I mean, we saw where Red Bull went 1-2 for 3 races at one point this year. And then it's just another team will do it. Then another team will do it. It's not been one team at the top, both on the constructors and the drivers.
It was for a bit, but not consistently, and that's what Mercedes is going to try to change. They want to try to get closer in both championships. Minico wants to pull away in both championships, but it's going to be up to Cookie to dictate the pace and when we go on the safety car restart. On lap 19 of 31, he's gone really early, and that could actually catch out some drivers in the midfield.
No, looks like Albanese is getting rid of it. Tronha as quickly as he can going into turn 1.
That's beneficial to him, and it's beneficial to Minico behind him. Or I'm sorry, ahead of him.
And Deere, though, not so much, but he'll look on the move for the Ferrari. Now he'll move to P4.
That's crucial for Deer Hunter. He needs to get past and get back up to third as quickly as possible. Mumu gets past Bailey, but look at this. The Alpine and the Ferrari side by side in the turn 7. Ferrari nut makes the move, goes a little bit deep, but grabs 5th from Etronha, and he stays so far. Supply Raptors around at turn 7.
Oh, unfortunate for the Williams. Running so well. Oh, Tweaking's off the pace. Tweaking's got front end plate damage. Again.
I thought I saw damage. Oh, into the back of him. I believe that being...
Chile.
Oh, out of the race goes Chile.
That might be another safety car. It is.
It is.
Well. So here's the question of the day. We're completing lap 20. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
It could be close.
I think if you're in the top 5, I think your bed's made. If you're someone, I think, personally out of the points, you have nothing to lose here. Pit for softs. If you're someone from, I am, Tweaking's already going to have to pit. Throw on softs. Just, you're going to have to come through this field anyways.
So far, everyone stays out. You find that a little bit shocking?
Well,
Here we go. Tweaking, Luciano, and DXT should go.
pretty much he leads the train. And willing to bet, let's see what they go on here. Oh, and again, once again, we've seen that the third straight safety car. Actually, the second, well, it wasn't the first time under the safety car. It was when they all came in to pit the first time.
When you were right, all 3 have gone on to the soft compounded tire for the rest of the Grand Prix. This could benefit them, but it could backfire. How long will the softs last, and will they hold up? Because remember, these guys up front, they're on fresh mediums. And did you remember what happened at the beginning of the race?
Yeah.
Those mediums on Minico pulled away
I think
from Deere's softs.
it's a scenario here. I look at it. You look at who pitted, basically P14 down. There was not much to lose to begin with because they're in the back. So why not just roll the dice? Tweaking only lost 2 spots by doing that. Part of it was because of
Now he has a chance.
yeah. Why not?
Well, we'll see what he can do from 16th. His teammates in 2nd. And Luciano is now the only Aston Martin in the Grand Prix after contact with between Chile and I am Tweaking, and then later from Chile, there we go, and the barrier. Unfortunately, the Aston Martin now will not take any more part in the Singapore Grand Prix. We've got around, 10 or so laps to go if we cross the strike. We have 18 drivers. We lost Chile and Ardell in the Singapore Grand Prix so far.
Interesting if the safety car comes in this lap. I don't think it will. I think
it's too.
Yeah, I think
late.
we'd have already gotten the message now. And to make things worse for the safety car, Valkyrie still has not served his drive-through.
That's really unfortunate for the Williams driver. He's just trying as best he can. He's like, hey, can you guys just not crash for like 3 seconds before I can go clear this
Pretty
thing?
much.
So, we'll go out for one more, and we'll probably go in this time. And I know with all these extra safety car laps, it's benefiting this man in first, Boss Cookie.
It is.
So he doesn't have to worry about that DRS from the Red Bull behind.
And Boss made a really good start the first time, going earlier than Minico anticipated. Now, with this restart, Minico would know that. So, a little bit of gamesmanship up front.
Well, we'll see. Right now, everyone in the top 14, barring Etron in 6th, is on the medium compounded tire. Then you have Luciano on back for the softs. as DXC pitted again, I believe, for another set of soft compounded tires. Yes, he has. So he'll take advantage of that fresh rubber and that, I guess, one delayed lap we'll have before we go back racing once again. It'll be lap 23 by the time we get back racing again. 22 down. We'll have 9 laps to go. And it's barely within that window for softs. Can they make it? Because there's definitely going to be some drop-off.
Yeah, there's going to be some drop-off. But, I mean, the mediums might have some drop-off, too. They're not on a fresh set. Yeah, they're working on 5. Well, I also got to add safety car laps, so I take that back. It'd be interesting.
Interesting indeed. Right now, the podium as it stands. Cookie ahead of Minico, ahead of Alpha Nisus. Deer Hunter looking in the wing. Ferrari Nut, he's gone from 20th to 5th. He's had a good drive as well. Safety car is indeed in this lap. At Tronha, he stays out once again. He stayed out that original safety car not too long ago. He's still in 6th. Taylor Clan 7th. Bailey in the Haas up in 8th in his debut for race for the Haas F1 team. Moo in 9th. Ron Swanson in the Ferrari up to 10th. Outside of Port, the championship hopeful is in 11th. Feta 12th. Crispy, Raptor, Luciano, Tweaking, DXC Ishigo, and Valkyrie rounds out your top 18 of the running drivers so far. Once again, Chile and Ardell, we have lost so far through the Singapore Grand Prix, but we have around 9 laps to go. This man, Cookie, will dictate the pace of the pack once again. Boss said it not too long ago. He went early last time. Will he go that early again?
Yep. So far, Mumu is the only one in the top 10 that has a penalty. And this time it's a bit of a later start. But he gets it.
And he goes.
Gets another.
Oh! Bailey collision with Mumu. That gives him a 5-second time penalty. And Mumu drops a ton of positions. He's down outside the top 10. He pits. Same with Valkyrie once again. He's going to clear that drive-through. He's finally can get that off his name. But Boss Cookie ahead by about 7/10 on Minico. Alpha Nisa's not too far behind. Deer Hunter in the wing, looking for that Alpha Tauri. He wants that 3rd position, and this is the best chance he can have to do it. He has a slipstream to the battery, but he's not going to be close enough this time to get past Alpha Nisa's.
It's interesting with Mumu pitting. That's just interesting.
Valkyrie gets a 5-second time penalty for crossing the pit lane on exit. Yellow flag, Deer Hunter. And he's made contact, I believe, with Ed Tronha as well. Now Ferrari Nuts up to 4th. Deer Hunter's to 5th. Not sure if he has damage. Was there contact between him and the Alpha Tauri, or maybe him and the Alpine? Not too sure. Yellow flag. And that is Feta out of the race.
What does this do? Do we get another safety car? So far we've had, yes, indeed.
Yes, it is. And that is going to help Boss Cookie again.
It's also going to help. Look at the soft runners. They were able to avoid chaos.
DXT Shigo is also out of the race.
Well, if
what's happened there?
I don't know. That's a great question.
It's been a lot of puzzling questions so far tonight.
It's been chaos the whole race.
It has.
I mean,
quite frankly, it keeps up with the standards of realistic so far this season.
Let's just ask ourselves this question: who hasn't pitted for damage yet?
This man in 1st, or the man in 2nd, or the man in 3rd.
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I think Deer's not pitted. I don't think he's had damage. I think really that's it.
Bailey comes in. He serves his 5-second time penalty for the collision with Mumu on the safety car. Restart prior. He goes on to the soft compounded tire. Supply Raptor. He's also in. He goes on to the soft compounded tire. Crispy in the Alpine. He goes in and chooses the soft compounded tire. I'm starting to see a trend here.
Yep.
Oh, and Mumu. Oh, no. He missed the pit lane, clambered over the curbs, and went back and got a 3-second time penalty and grabbed a warning, I believe, in the process for multiple warnings and track extensions. He's going to serve his 5-second time penalty for collision under the safety car, I believe, and go to softs.
Yeah, I believe Mumu got that while he was entering pit road. Not the last safety car, but the one before. The only ones that have been collision on the track was, I believe, Bailey's, and I believe that might have been the only one.
All right, to answer your question from a bit ago, if we go off of the amount of stops, I'm not necessarily sure how many of those were for damage, but the only drivers who have made 2 stops have been the top 5.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I agree. Yeah, because Ferrari Nut's been the only one. You know, he started on hards and P20 actually, yes, because he missed qualifying, and yeah, okay.
So far, penalty-wise, we have no one in the top 10, barring Luciano. With a time penalty, Luciano has that 5-second. He may have to serve either at the end of this race or in the pit lane if he pits once again. Crispy, Mumu, and Valkyrie all have 3-second time penalties to be applied at the end of the race time for multiple warnings and track extensions. It's close, no penalties, and we'll go out for one more lap.
Yep, so we'll complete lap 24 now, and lap 25 laps will be complete with the safety car, so looking at, what, 6 to go?
Roughly at that.
I think.
If it comes in this time, it will be 6 laps to go.
Looking at the way the field is, barring if Mumu and Valkyrie pit, we should go green this time. I tell you, this kind of sets up pretty for Luciano and Tweaking. Yeah, it shows on the screen 3 laps. They've only really had 1 lap of race.
They've had 1 corner.
Yeah, so this has kind of worked well into their hands. So
see how that plays out, especially for Ed Tronha in the top 10. His 12 lap on hards. He stayed there. I mean, obviously his pace difference due to the tire difference between him and the drivers around him being a little bit lackluster. The hards are significantly slower a lap compared to the mediums or the softs. But so far it's worked out for him, these safety cars. I believe the 3rd in a row. I believe 4th of the race. I could be wrong.
I believe it's the 3rd or the 4th. I will make a note though for this later of, hey, if there's a crash, you're likely getting a safety car. So we've had more safety cars in this race than we did at Monaco, where we had 9.
To be fair, I don't think Monaco was okay. I'm gonna be honest.
No.
Because there was a lot of crashes that I think could have been safety cars.
Yeah.
And should have been safety cars, but were not.
Nope. Yeah, I agree.
So,
I guess we're making.
I mean, I think we're on par with Baku, though.
We are
I
on
think.
par with Baku.
That was just safety car every lap. So far, if we have another safety car this lap, I think we'll actually be tied with Baku for the most safety cars in a single race so far in this season. But safety car comes in this time. The Aston Martin Vantage safety car will go into the pit lane, and it's going to be once again to the Mercedes of Boss Cookie. Where will he go? He went late last time. He went early the time before that. Where will he go this time?
It's caught Nico off guard.
Oh, the 2 Ferraris hit each other under safety car. They both grab a 5-second time penalty. And now he goes, and Minico's actually pretty close. He got a great start. The Red Bull not too far away from the Mercedes this time, but off the track, almost into the wall. I believe that being Luciano. Almost had a huge moment in the exit of turn 23.
Tweaking gets a 3-second as Nico trying to close in the gap of Boss Cookie. DRS will be enabled most likely next lap. Alpha and East is sticking right with these guys, so is Ferrari Nut.
Deer Hunter looking close to Ferrari Nut. Will he be close enough for a move into turn 7? No, he doesn't. He stays behind the Alpine. Tweaking gets past Ron Swanson. The battle for 9th puts the Red Bull ahead of him. He has to go chase after unsighted Port in the McLaren, about 5/10 in front of him.
Yep. So far, it's a half a second between as we have another sector 2.
Oh, Tweaking.
Just Tweaking.
Tweaking around. That's going to be his race once again. Put on the back foot. I don't think there's damage, but he has to go chase after Luciano.
See how all this shakes out. It's good for one side of the garage for Red Bull. The other side, not ideal. It's sector 2. Okay, now that's cleared up.
Tweaking's actually spun again.
I wonder if he has. Let's take a look. Don't see any visible damage on Tweaking.
He may have overheated tires. And with the nature of the Singapore circuit, it could definitely play a cause and a role and a huge factor in these spins. We have one constant yellow flag
that's
through turn 8.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why we're having that issue. His boss cookies got some
Turn 9, rather. He beats his prior fastest lap from earlier. Once again, that sporadic yellow flag through turn 9, not turn 8. I was wrong a second ago. But Minico is still holding on. Port gets past Ed Tronha, battle for 7th. Now puts him behind his teammate by 1.5 seconds or so. Ron Swanson's now behind his teammate, Ed Tronha, by about 0.6 or so. And that's going to be pitting Luciano and tweaking. Maybe there was contact between the Aston Martin and the Red Bull.
Yeah, DRS is not enabled this lap, so
oh,
will be
Deer
next
Hunter.
lap.
Side by side, almost contact with Ferrari Nut into the barriers. They were still wheel to wheel on the exit of turn 8 or turn 7. They were looking for the move. Deer Hunter passed the Alpine and Ferrari Nut, but now that's caused Taylor Clan to go within. And because of this yellow flag, no one can overtake, which means that side by side move back there between Mumu, I believe, the Alpine, he has to back out of it.
I tell you, the one person that's loving Ferrari Nut right now is Alphonse. He has pulled away in P3. I don't think he has anything for the front two, but good debut drive for him.
And the swap at McLaren. Port gets past Taylor. So he now has to chase after Deer Hunter.
Interesting to see with Ferrari having their penalties. That would put Bailey up to P8, and Luciano, oh no, he's pitted.
That yellow flag scares me every time.
Yeah,
He goes even faster. Almost out of the 1 second DRS range. He's so close. Port grabs a 3-second time penalty. Deer Hunter's so close to Ferrari Nut. DRS is enabled this time by. The Mercedes could get past the Alpine.
I don't think Vinica's going to have it. No, he won't.
He's out of DRS. That's crucial for Boss Cookie and the Mercedes team. But what about the other Mercedes? Can Deer Hunter get close to Ferrari Nut? He's closing in. Will he be close enough? Down in the turn 7. He goes for the move. The late lunge for the Mercedes. Contact made again. The two wheel banging like they did a lap prior. And Ferrari Nut still holds on. This time unsighted. Port's there. Bailey's around at turn 8.
Oh.
9 to 7. He has no. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of debris. That could be a virtual safety car.
I don't think that's damage from him.
It is. Crispy has no front wing. Not for him, definitely. But Bailey has no damage. Crispy has no wing. And he goes wide at turn 10. Raptor doesn't have any damage, so maybe it was just a battle between those two gone south.
Could have very well been. Looks like
Thankfully, it looks like there is no virtual safety car coming. They aren't going a yellow flag to repair and pick up the debris from that part of the track.
Meanwhile, back up front, Boss Cookies has a 1.3 second lead over Manico. As Valkyrie gets another 3 second. Yeah, Boss Cookies had the best car tonight. He started P14, made quick work up front, didn't make any mistakes. I can't think of one. I mean, he's had the quicker car. He's had the better pace so far.
And to clarify, to those tuned in and qualifying 1 with that shenanigans between the Mercedes and the Red Bull, he would not get a time penalty for that. But here we go. The Mercedes, Crispy's out of the race. Is that going to be a safety car? Because that's going to affect Deer Hunter directly. No, it's not. Deer Hunter gets past Ferrari Nut up into the podium places.
Crispy's retired on the pit lane.
Outside the podium places, to clarify.
Oh,
Luciano also retires in the pit lane as well. He's now out of the Singapore Grand Prix.
We have 14 drivers.
Only a couple laps left.
I believe that sector is for Luciano. So that should go away once his car disappears.
Going deep into 14 goes Ferrari Nut inside of port, closing in on the Alpine, just not close enough to go to a move into 16 this time. He could be pressurizing the Alpine going down into turn 1 or maybe even turn 7 if he's close enough that time by. But Deer Hunter's gotten through and has gone away from the Alpine, 1.2 seconds. Is he going to have enough time to close up to Alphanesis and grab that podium place for Mercedes? That'll be crucial in the championship for them.
Deer is 4.4 seconds back from Alphanesis. I know that Mercedes has pace, but I don't know if it has that much pace to catch him in 2 laps. We'll see.
Yellow flag all over the circuit at this rate.
Yeah, I think we're still getting that regular Sector 2 glitch, and now we're getting the pit lane glitch, so yep, weird. And for some reason it keeps showing me Alphanesis is in 13th when that shouldn't be the case, so we're having some sort of a glitch.
Timing glitching deep, but look at this. Inside of port was almost pushing the Alpine of Ferrari Nut through into 8, into 9. He's looking at every chance he can to get through the Alpine, just not close on this occasion. He has another chance though with the DRS. Moo with the 3-second time penalty to be applied at the end of his race time. Can the McLaren get close enough to the Alpine? Down into turn 14, he has the ERS. He's going to have the DRS. He's going to have the slipstream. Will he make the move? He does go for the move. Late on the brakes. Port goes ahead of Ferrari Nut into 5th. And Moo gets past Ed. Battle for 8th.
You know, I said earlier about how this has been kind of an unfortunate set of events for Williams. Look now he's in the points as he gets by Ed Trana, but Supply Raptor P10. So far, Williams is going to get a point. They could actually get more out of this with P9 and P8 having penalties.
Possibly. Supply Raptor definitely having a really good showing so far today. And now we're on the final lap of the Grand Prix. It may be too late for Alphanesis to get caught by Deer Hunter. But right now, is it too late for this battle? The battle for the lead between Cookie and Minico. It has been happening a lot ever since Cookie took the fight to Minico as of late. This race, he's taken the fight to him literally. So far, it's gone out well. He still has about half the circuit to go. Can he hold on? 1.6 seconds between the Merc and the Red Bull.
You have to hold your breath here because the barriers are so close here at Singapore. One little mistake. Don't want to run wide, get a 3-second here. And again, I like to say, for some reason, it shows Alphanesis in P13. At least on my end, it does. Barring
doesn't mind as well.
Yeah, barring a mistake, he will be home in P3.
Well, mistakes have been something that has plagued the Mercedes team so far this season. Well, ever since this man has gotten into the car, it's been up and down. He went for the win. He got the win on track, but it was taken away from him at Hungary. He went for the win. He got the win at Spa. Well, he went from 14th, and he'll get the win today at Singapore. Boss Cookie wins the Singapore Grand Prix ahead of Minico and the Red Bull. Alphanesis will come home on his debut race for AlphaTauri. He'll grab the podium in 3rd. Deer Hunter will come home in 4th with a good 1-4 finish for Mercedes. 5th inside at port, but now he'll be relegated to 6th as Ferrari Nut gets 5th. Taylor Clan 7th. Moo 8th. Ron Swanson comes home in 9th. He has that 5-second time penalty. Supply Raptor is going to go up to 8th. Moo 9th. Ron 10th. Will he hold on to it? Yes, he will. Bailey across the line in 11th was oh so close. Eltrona was so close to a point. He gets in P12. And I Am Tweaking comes home in P13. Now he's in P12 because of the penalty. Who has fastest lap? It was I Am Tweaking.
Yep. Interesting to hear the conversations from after the race between, well, Boss and Minico. That's going to be interesting. See what they have to
say. Apparently Alphanesis is a lap down.
That should be correct. Unless I 100% missed something here.
No, he crossed the line in 3rd.
Yeah.
Guessing this is just a timing glitch.
I mean, it has to be a timing glitch. I didn't see him fall down the order. I mean,
well,
theoretically,
this is weird.
Yeah, theoretically, we'd be interviewing both Mercedes drivers and Minico, but I don't understand why Alfanese fell to P13. And he's certainly not a lap down. Did he pit in the final part of the... I don't think he did.
No, he did not.
Look at his lap times.
Oh, maybe just be stuck here.
The only thing I see from after the
safety cars! The safety car's out!
Yeah, this is glitched. Because I'm looking at his lap times here, I could tell once the safety car came in for lap 26 on, he ran basically in the 140s. So, no, he didn't have an issue. So, yeah, he's P3.
He's pushing the safety car.
Well,
this is odd.
This is very odd. And I think that's probably the reason why.
There we go.
Yeah, well, we had to wait for that. It was like, what a wacky race this was.
It has been chaotic indeed.
Hey.
Ferrari Nut grabs driver of the day from 20th to 5th. What a drive.
That was a great drive for him. Maybe Aston Martin so desperately to lead a race, they said, hey, get the safety car out there.
Well, no mistakes from this man. He'll win the Singapore Grand Prix. Boss Cookie takes it home for Mercedes. They get ever so closer to that championship fight.
Yeah, give me 1 second and I'll bring in the guys for the podium. Waiting for the leaderboard to show up here. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay. And,
Well, Singapore, it was a chaotic and a crazy race to say the least. And Boss Cookie shows how crazy it was. From 14th to 1st, he wins. And the Mercedes team takes home another shiny trophy to get their hunt ever so close to that championship to Red Bull and to Minico. Minico grabs second place from starting from pole. It just wasn't meant to be. Alfanisas grabs the third and final podium spot in the AlphaTauri on his debut for the team. What a race it's been for him. Deer Hunter in 4th, Ferrari Nut 5th from 20th. Unsighted Port to 6th. Taylor Clan 7th, Raptor 8th, Mumu 9th, Ron Swanson in 10th. Bailey grabs 11th in his debut for Haas. Tweaking, Etronhat, Valkyrie, Crispy, and Luciano. With DXD, Feta, Chile, and Ardell, we lost from the Singapore Grand Prix.
has Albanese made the party yet? No, so I guess as we will wait from Albanese to join the party, I'll just talk to Minico. Minico, talk about your race overall, your battle with Boss Cookie, and, you know, starting from pole, you flew away from Deer. Kind of what happened in the second half of the race?
I was just kind of playing it safe, really. I knew what I had to achieve considering my championship, so I was just, you know, I wasn't really expecting the win that much. Obviously, starting up at the top, that was great. But, you know, it's just kind of a fight smart, not hard type thing, and I'm satisfied with P2 nonetheless.
Well, we'll hear probably from the other side of the incident. What was your thoughts about what happened in Q1?
I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just going to let the stewards decide it. But, yeah, it is what it is.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. Alfanese, P3 on debut for AlphaTauri. Started P4. Have to say, you had a very quiet race, which was a good thing considering all the chaos that was going on. Talk about your race on debut with AlphaTauri.
He said his mic is broken.
Well, okay, well, that is unfortunate. We'll just go ahead and move to Katra, who will interview Boss Cookie for our winner.
Once again, congratulations to Alphanistas and Minico on their podiums and the both Honda-powered drivers for their second and third, respectively. But we go to the race winner, Boss Cookie, from 14th after DNFing and qualifying to first. You won the Singapore Grand Prix. What was it like from your perspective?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Well.
Well, a win puts you closer into that championship fight. Do you think you could possibly continue this momentum up a week from now at Suzuka? Well, regardless if it was easy or not, you won and took the victory home today at Singapore and for Mercedes. So congratulations on your win of the Singapore Grand Prix. Wait, are you working now, Kinesis?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Yes.
That's great.
All right, here we go. Well, let's go back to you.
All right, well, okay. Well, Alphanese, you started P4, finished P3 on debut for AlphaTauri. I have to say you had a quiet race, and which is not a bad thing in a race as chaotic as this. Describe your race.
Yeah, like you said, it was quite silent, and for the first race for AlphaTauri, like Zach said, that's a statement right there. Maybe we could extend the contract and extend the points in the championship for the team. Probably secure fourth or down fifth. But yeah, it seems like this is just the start of something greater.
I would certainly agree with that, with what we've seen tonight, and with the performance tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if Zach does grant you your wish. Are you surprised at how strong AlphaTauri was tonight?
Expectations were that the car was going to be behind pace in comparison with the others. But to my surprise, it was remarkable. The pace was remarkable. Of course, I had a little bit of luck with the pit stop and me coming out ahead of Deer Hunter and taking that position, especially for rain not being between us. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next races. Let's see if the AlphaTauri can have the same pace as today.
Well, that will conduct the podium interviews for tonight. Congratulations for your podium on debut. And congrats to Maniko getting P2 and extending your championship lead. And for Boss Cookie, I know he left the party, but congrats on your win. Ketchup, back to you.
Alrighty. But for myself, hey Ketchup in the booth, and everyone else in the Breakout Racing League Realistic Performance tier, that'll do it from us here at Singapore. But don't go anywhere. Tomorrow we have a ton of racing, and it's going to be fun indeed because we have two major events going on. We have, obviously, the equal tier racing like we do every week, tiers 3 and 4 at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively, for their trip around the Singapore and the Marina Bay circuit. But also, if you go over to YouTube, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you get to see the Breakout Racing League tackle the 24-hour of Daytona on iRacing, and that'll be going on for about 24 hours straight until 5 p.m. on Saturday. So tune in for that, because on Saturday after that, you can tune in to some more Breakout Racing League racing on Saturday as well, with Tier 2 and Tier 1 at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. And then on Sunday, if you don't like Formula 1 racing and you're tired of iRacing after the 24-hour, we don't blame you. You can tune in to ACC Tier 1 and ACC Tier 2 on Monday, and then we'll come back on Wednesday to Suzuka, and then come back here a week from now to the Japanese Grand Prix for round 17 of 24 of the Realistic Performance tier. The time is ticking. The championship is coming closer to that finale. But for now, and myself, Hey Catcher, the Breakout Racing League, Bois, and the entirety of the Realistic Performance tier, we say thank you and good night.